to live life creatively. The creative place where no one else has ever been. You have to leave the city of your comfort and go into the wilderness of your intuition. What you'll discover will be wonderful. What you'll discover is yourself. Be as smart as you can, but remember that it is always better to be wise than to be smart. Awards can give you a tremendous amount of encouragement to keep getting better, no matter how young or old you are. It isn't necessary to be rich and famous to be happy. It's only necessary to be rich. Backstage life is terrific training for an actor, seeing shows from the wings. I'm condemned by some inner compulsion to think about the daily rituals of my life. I have a low-grade fever for improving myself in many ways, including everyday tasks. Here's my golden rule for a tarnished age: be fair with others, but keep after them until they're fair with you. Some of the greatest things, as I understand, they have come about by serendipity. The greatest discoveries. I have a strong preference for being alive. You can't be aware of everything. You'd fall down the stairs if you were aware of every intricate thing involved in going downstairs. Why would you give money to somebody whose work you don't understand? I was always interested in figuring things out. I do experiments, like combining things I found around the house to see what would happen if I put them together. Almost everybody that's well known gets tagged with a nickname. I wouldn't live in California. All that sun makes you sterile. I think when you're acting, you usually don't have to know too much beyond how to pronounce the words you're saying. I must have interviewed 600 or 700 scientists all around the world. MASH was a collection of people, in front of and behind the cameras, that really clicked. When I got recognized as a writer, when I got the Emmy, I was more excited than the Emmys I had gotten as an actor. I think I look better in a suit than a loincloth. So that may define some of the parts I play. In 2003, I almost died of an intestinal blockage when I was on a mountain in Chile, filming a segment for Scientific American Frontiers. For me, I find that even though I've accomplished a few things in my life, looking back on accomplishments doesn't give me a sense of satisfaction. Anyone I know who's almost died has come out of it, at least for a while, looking at things differently. I'm greedy for that satisfaction of doing something hard and knowing that, even though I was afraid I couldn't do it, that somehow I can deliver. No matter how big the audience is going to be, I'm interested in doing things that are fun. When I was about 10 years old, I gave my teacher an April Fool's sandwich, which had a dead goldfish in it. Listening is being able to be changed by the other person. Be fair with others, but then keep after them until they're fair with you. When people are laughing, they're generally not killing one another.
Begin challenging your assumptions. Your assumptions are the windows on the world. Scrub them off every once in a while or the light won't come in. If I can't get the girl, at least give me more money. Whenever I think of how much pleasure I have interviewing scientists, I remember that they're having the real fun in actually being able to do the science. I come armed with a really good ignorance. I don't strive toward ignorance. I come by it naturally. As an artist, as an actor, as a writer, you have to use what's personal to you. You have to be personal about your work, otherwise, it doesn't ring true. Never have your dog stuffed is really advice to myself, a reminder to myself not to avoid change or uncertainty, but to go with it, to surf into change. What I always wanted to get seen as was as a good actor, when it was the acting I was doing. When I'm writing, I want to try to be seen as a good writer. My mother didn't try to stab my father until I was 6. But she must have shown signs of oddness before that. We need to be more conversant with it because science is in our lives. It's in everything. It's in the food we eat. It's in the air we breathe. It's everywhere. My background is on the stage, so when I'd write movies, they'd be a lot like plays. There is a wonderful feeling of power when you're a director, but I don't think I need that, and I'm okay without it. Achingly funny as it was, Larry Gelbart's writing gave off sparks that turn a hard light on the way we are. It's very important for us to see that science is done by people, not just brains but whole human beings, and sometimes at great cost. What heartens me is to see 30 Rock on the air. It makes me laugh from my gut, which I really like to do. Any play is hard to write, and plays are getting harder and harder to get on the stage. I always loved Sid Caesar and all the people on his program. Awards shows mainly publicize the people giving the awards. When I was in high school, I fell under the spell of that crazy idea that if you're interested in the arts, you can't be interested in science. You know what my earliest memories are? Going from one burlesque town to another. My father was in burlesque. I'm in the real world. Some people try to steal from me, and I stop them, frequently, take them to court. I love a good lawsuit. It's fun. You can watch actors create their illusions, but if you don't see where they get the pigeons from, you don't really know how they're doing it. Really top-notch directors, I've often worked with them just to see how they work. I used to be an amateur inventor when I was a kid. I'm always inventing something. I think it's important for scientists to speak in their own voices and not just be mediated by journalists or others speaking for them. What's funny is that you can think you really value your life until you almost lose it. I'm most at home on the stage. I was carried on stage for the first time when I was 6 months old. I read science, because to me, that's extremely exciting. It's like a great detective story, and it's happening right in front of us. I really don't like plays or movies that service propaganda. I made my first stage appearance when I was 6 months old. The president never intends to get into any kind of war situation. He gets carried away by events. Usually, comedy shows only influence other comedy shows. MASH is one of the few comedies that influenced dramatic shows as well. I don't miss directing at all, and I don't miss screenwriting either because somebody is always telling you to do something different.